AEW Grand Slam Mexico, Adam Page did something that goes beyond the ring. He cut an entire promo in Spanish in Mexico. He told us about how he grew up in a farm and he grew up around a lot of Mexicans. And not only did they treat him like family, they also showed him the meaning of family. They also showed him the meaning of hard work and taking care of your families. He said they were honest, they were hardworking, and the number one lesson that they taught him was everything is better when we work together. He also thanks Mexico for receiving the AEW roster well because Mexico was housing them for Grand Slam Mexico. If you saw my reaction or you didn't, when he said his first hola, I was like, oh, that's cute. He said hola. I did not realize that he was able to cut an entire promo in Spanish. And as he progressed, I kind of figured that he was going to give us a beautiful message because of what's currently happening in Los Angeles. And if you don't know, California is a sanctuary state. So what's happening right now is highly illegal. But I'm not going to get too much into the legalities of stuff because I think a lot of people misinterpreted what Adam Page did into something political. He didn't say anything going against any political party. What he talks about was just human rights. And I think a lot of people got that misconstrued and they were saying, no, but this is wrestling. This is my escape. I don't want politics in my wrestling because I watch wrestling to escape, which I can understand that to an extent because I definitely do not want wrestlers coming out, having hats supporting a certain politician, supporting a certain party, endorsing someone. And that's like from any side. That's from the right. That's from the left. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that they should be out there in the ring doing that or pushing their political views on everybody. What Adam Page did is just simply just empathy and human rights. He didn't say anything political, which is always so crazy to me because whenever people want to bring up that argument, and it's funny because ever since Sami Zayn had that interview where he said the reason why WWE doesn't bring in politics anymore is because WWE is an escape for many. So I feel like ever since he said that, everybody is now grabbing onto that and regurgitating, even though it doesn't imply in this instance. And even Sami Zayn and CM Punk, their gear was a tribute to the Palestinian people. And when they did that, a lot of people were saying, can we keep this out of wrestling? If you're gonna tell me that you want politics out of wrestling, I can agree with that. But what they're doing isn't like this political endorsement. They are just pushing human rights. They are just bringing light. They're using their platform into bringing the travesties that are happening in our current country, in the world today. So to a lot of the people that were like, oh, I don't really like this, they need to keep this out of politics. Like, I feel like you just don't care. It's because you don't care. It's because you choose not to care. And that's why you don't care about having certain wrestlers bring up certain current events that are happening in our country and just showing empathy towards humans. I also watch wrestling as an escape. So even though I'm in the Epic Center, I'm in Los Angeles, California, I have seen it with my eyes. My soul literally gets sucked out of my entire being watching what's happening in my own city. So when I tune into wrestling, and somebody has a message about something that is actually affecting me right now, affecting my state, affecting my city, affecting people that look like me, I deeply appreciate that. I don't care if I watch wrestling as an escape. That actually makes me love wrestling and love the people that are part of this business even more because there's compassion. The second person that did something was Brody King. Brody King came out with an Abolish ICE shirt. And when I tell you, if you don't know who Brody King is, he's from Van Nuys, California. I grew up in the next city over, right next to Van Nuys. And if you don't know, the punk scene is really huge out there. I grew up punk. And if you don't know anything about punk, you gotta know your politics. If not, you're raging and you're mad at it and you just want to create chaos and anarchy. If you didn't know, Brody King is the lead singer of God's Hate. And if you listen to their music, you would damn well know that if there was an opportunity to do something on a huge platform like AEW Grand Slam, if there was a good opportunity to send a message, because he did that on his Instagram, he talked about it on his Instagram, but if there was a way to get this on TV, he was going to absolutely do it. So when I saw him with the Abolish ICE shirt, I was like, that makes sense. That makes so much damn sense. A lot of the same rhetoric that was being talked about under Adam Page's post was being talked about under Brody King's post. That one I can see more, like I can see where people were like, okay, can we keep this out of wrestling though? Because that one I can see how you can get political. And of course I saw people very upset at Brody King for even doing that. A lot of people were saying, I'm unfollowing you, and were using slurs, and it was so funny because if you know anything about this man does not care. These are his beliefs and he's going to stick by them. He doesn't care if he's going to lose followers for it. WWE is going to Mexico. They're going to have a lot of house shows. And I did say this, and I think that's where a lot of people were like, but they don't have to say anything. Listen, I agree. If WWE does not want to acknowledge anything that's happening right now with the ICE raids, they don't have to. If the company itself does not want to bring that up, then it's not something that I can't be mad at because it's just a specific company. But I feel like there are certain wrestlers, especially with Sami Zayn, I feel like he wants to speak up, but he does it in a very ambiguous way. He can't really go into detail and talk about certain stuff. And you can see that on his Twitter. You can see that he wants to say stuff, but then he can't say anything. I have no clue if that's because he chooses not to get too much into the nitty-gritty of what's happening in Palestine, or if it's because the company doesn't want him to say anything. I have no clue. I do know that WWE is a very right-wing company, but guess what? AEW is also a very right-wing company. But what I will say is good for Tony Khan, good for AEW, because they were in Mexico and they allowed two of their talent to express how they feel. Whether you want to speak on it or not, it's your platform. You choose what you do. The people will choose to support you based on how you use your platform as well. But what I will say is huge respect and huge kudos, because allowing your most prominent babyface right now, an AEW original, to open up the show, cut an entire promo in Spanish, that meant so much to a lot of people. Wrestling is not just for one singular race. Wrestling is not for one singular type of age demographic. Wrestling is for everybody. So you have to remember that that is going to be so important to hear from somebody in that position in a company, as I'm supporting your company by watching it every single week. And this is affecting me. This is my state. I have the same color as them. The only thing that's different is that I have a citizenship. It's something that I didn't think I would need, but now that it happened, it was definitely needed. And I know a lot of people cried. I cried. I had several comments of a lot of husbands saying, this made my wife cry. This made my wife cry. Or just them, they're like, this made me cry. This made me cry. I get the rhetoric that they should not bring in politics into wrestling. I get that. But like I said, this is human rights. I ended on this note. Brody King, I always knew that you were badass. You've been my freaking favorite. And Adam freaking Page. I have been on this channel on my streams. I liked Adam Page, but I wasn't like a huge fan. And I've stated, Adam Page does not move me. I said that so many damn times. After that, Adam Page, do not worry, man. I ordered some merch. I am such an Adam Page fan, and I will freaking ride for this man, because seeing somebody who's in the business that you're so passionate about be so empathetic, and also know that they might lose a certain fan base, knowing that this is not going to cater to everybody, but more of a certain demographic, and you still do it, dog. So much damn respect. I'm okay with it. Let me know your opinions on it. Please, let's have a healthy discourse in the comment section, okay? I don't want no freaking fighting, because I'll fight, but I don't want to fight right now, okay? Until next time, bye.